Hashem's Vasek Tiftach Ofia Gitzal Sacha. Mazel Tov on completing the Sifrei Nach. It is a huge accomplishment, and Emirat Hashem, we will do it a second time together. Just to recap, based on the Siyum that was given on Shabbos, there are, by all accounts, 19 Sifrei Nach, when you add up Shmuel, as in Shmuel Aleph and Beis as one. Malachim Aleph and Beis is one. And the idea of 19 is significant because it's one more than 18, which is Chai. Our lives are such that it is really important that we make use of not just the physicality of it, but what makes a Jew is one more. To infuse the one more into our lives, which is the Kedusha. And Hashem entrusts us with nature to be able to do that. That's the role of what a Jew brings to this world, is to infuse that one more into the daily mundane. And perhaps that is what we have discussed about the Aron. The Aron had miraculous powers. Remember? All the Jews were able to fit in between the bottom of the Aron. How is that even possible? And the Aron carried those who carried it. How is it possible? Because it wasn't just 18. It wasn't just a regular life. It had infusion of it, miracles, something more, the Kedusha. And that gave it. So the number 19 is very significant when we think about the Sifrei Nach. Not only that, there are 472 prakim. And that is the gematria of what? That is the gematria of Taf, Vez, and Ayin. Teva, but not Teva, which means nature, not the way that it is ordinarily spelled, but rather, because that would be Tes, Vez, Ayin. But it's the same message. The message of Nach is the message of taking regular nature and elevating it. Elevating our lives in a way that is very, very powerful. That we take the everyday and we make it into something more. Now, that isn't the same with Torah. Why? Because in Torah, right, that was a time in Jewish history where Hashem was just making the miracles. There wasn't real nature. But as we step into Yehoshua, we're stepping into a life where there's no man, there's no Ananei Kavod, there's no Be'er Miriam. The specialness of Har Sinai has left the building. And we enter into a time where we're going to have to work for our food, and we're not going to rely on open miracles. When they come, Mazel Tov, wonderful. But they're not going to come as frequently, or we won't see them as such. And so really, we're going to be living in the world of Teva, in the world of nature. And so our job is to make it Teva with tough, to make it something different, to elevate it. Now, if we walk into the Sifrei Nach, it really is the cycle of life. We start with Yehoshua, where Hashem saves our neshama, plucks it out of all the neshamas that are in Shemayim. And then Shoftim, Hashem decides if it's going to be, what midos and what life circumstance he's going to give us. And he brings us to this situation. And the Malachim are also judging. They're like, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't. Why is he getting a chance to go down? I'm not so sure. And there's a judgment that happens. And Hashem says, no, this neshama is going to come down. And what does he do? Shmuel, Sam Kel, Hashem plucks him and puts him in the world. But he doesn't leave us just with nothing. Malachim, we're a Bas Melech, Panima. We have royal blood inside of us. The Pintele Yid that's inside each and every one of us, in a beautiful way, comes down into the world. And then there are times in life where the Yeshayahus really just Nechama and good. And then there's the Yirmiyahu, the difficulty, and the Cheskel, the difficulty, sometimes good, sometimes bad. The trials and the tribulations of this world. But what are they all for? if not for Treyasar, so that we can find our derech and we can serve Hashem in that way. And each one of us has a different derech to find, a different derech to be on, something that's going to make us unique and different. And then comes stage 1 of our life. So we choose our derech, we find our path, we're given to, again, in a more open, miraculous type of way, because there's still the connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then comes Ksuvim. What's written? Again, if the Nevi'im are the level of a window that we're kind of, Hashem is kind of waving and He can watch us through, Ksuvim is a little bit more removed, if not much more removed, right? And it's more like Hashem is peeking through a curtain. And so what do we have there? We have the name of each of us as individuals, but it's Megillah is in front of it. Megillas Esther, Megillas Ruth. We have to bring the revelation. And it's hard. And there are times that seem like an Eicha. There are difficulties, but what's our job? To say, Eicha, Hashem, what do you want from us? And to find meaning and purpose. And to find the shir and the shirim. And to find the intellectual capabilities in the mashalim. And to still give tehillim to Hashem. We go through life with all of what we're given, and our job then becomes to reveal what is hidden, reveal what's the histar, what is not there, and to still sing shira to Hashem, to praise Hashem, to interpret the mashalim of our life for Him, so that we can come to Divrei Hayamim, we can come to Hinei Yamim Ba'im Nu'um Hashem at the end of days of our life, and we can look back and we could say, we fulfilled your tafkid. It was a good idea that you gave our neshama a chance to come into this world. And that beautiful opportunity, thank you, Hashem. And so that is the Divrei Hayamim. And so the Nach is a lot more than just the Svarim. It allows us to get from point A to point Z, to come full circle and in recognition of what our true job is. That life is going to bring challenge, it's going to bring joy, it's going to bring nachas, and it's going to bring pain. And our job is to make use of the neshama that we're given and let it go through all of life's trials and tribulations in a very positive, beautiful way. But it's more than that, especially for the woman, because the woman is given opportunities, and it starts in Nach with Rachav. Rachav, she had nothing. She literally was the base lowest in society. She was using her body for tumah, for bad things. But Rachav, she can expand, she could change, she could grow. She was Zocha to marry, to be on the level of who? She was Zocha to be on the level to marry Yehoshua. Again, coming full circle, that Hashem saves. He believes in our neshamas, that we can do it. And all throughout Nach, we have amazing role models through the women. We have the idea, we have the Chana, who teaches us how to really be emotionally invested and to daven from the depths of her heart. We have Devorah, who shows what it means. Ad shekamti im Yisrael. She is a force to be reckoned with. She sits under the palm tree, the date tree, and she's going over. She is where everyone's asking her about what was she studying? Devarim. Like really real deal stuff, not just the musary little nothings. No. She's giving, and she, you know what? When Barak couldn't pull it, she pulls it. And we have the Esther, who dedicates her life and soul to Hashem and to the people. We have Rus, who is so loyal. And then we also have the Atalias, who are really bad, but boy, do they get the job done. We have Isabel, who's influential. And right at the end of Divrei Hayamim, remember, each one of the people has a mother and they're mentioned. Why are they mentioned? If not to highlight that even if you're good or if you're bad, your mother impacts on who you become. This is Torah Simecha. Men have, this Daf Yomi Shir, and it's amazing. But we don't need to go that. We have a moon in a different way. Now, in the Torah, we see the beginnings and the underpinnings, but these women are really holy. They are amazingly holy. And what they are able to accomplish seems a little bit far-fetched and a little bit not reachable. But then when you come to Nach, the women are multidimensional, so it's easier to connect to them. And it's really important to highlight that at the end of all of it, we have history. But I'm suggesting that just like we had said early on that Ish hayashar be'einav ya'aseh, that man will do, what were the Jewish people up to? Everyone did their own thing. And we highlighted it was Ish, but not Isha, not the woman. Women don't just do what they feel like. They have achrayus, they have responsibilities. Remember, they're the ones that brought the tambourines with Miriam even before they were taken and even before it was solidified that they were going to have a reason to sing. Because emunah and bitachon, we're given different mitzvos because we have an internal compass that gives us a leg up in emunah and bitachon. And that's why the Mesorah and how it's transmitted is very different. We learn and have different mitzvos because we're fundamentally bringing something else to the table. And that the beauty of that, right? We study history, but Nach is her story. In many ways, it really highlights where we can go, where we can develop deeper roots in Emunah. Now, just to highlight a few key points that we had mentioned, and with this I will close. And that is, there are so many opportunities to learn from Nach. A few just nuggets to hold on to. The first is the idea in Tehillim, we have Selah. Every time it says Selah, you pause. Why do you pause? You pause so that you can, David HaMelech is saying, don't let life pass you by. Don't just be on automatic pilot. There are going to be great times in life. There are going to be moments. Every day there are moments, both in the hashgacha, the influence that Hashem has in our life, and you won't see it if you just go on automatic. But it's good in your life to just, at some moment, take a deep breath and take it in. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the day. The present is a present if you make it one. The second is lamnatseach. Lamnatseach means to the conductor. What does it mean, the conductor? We are all the conductors of our life. We all allow for the cacophony of musical instruments to be playing. And it's our job to create conduction. In our children, we have to conduct. In our own temptations, desires, yetzaharas, we have to conduct. And that we are the conductor. We are in charge of our lives. Don't let it pass you by. Don't think that other people know. You are in charge of yourself. The next is Anchana. But tispalel al Hashem. She davened on Hashem. Just keep that image in your mind. We lean on Hashem. Hashem, the Melech Malchei Amlachim, our Daddy in Shamayim. We can lean on Him. And tefillah takes on a very different meaning when you know that you're davening on Hashem instead of to Hashem. And she was vulnerable, right? She was maras nefesh ruach. Her neshama. She was like so vulnerable, but she still poured her to Hashem. Be vulnerable to Hashem. The next we spoke about is the idea of the Yonatan and David and how nafsho kshura benafsho, they were intertwined. They have a friendship that was beyond. Yonatan, he lost everything because of David, if you think about it. He wasn't going to be the king. His relationship with his dad was going to be strained. Everything was different, but he wasn't jealous. All he did was he connected on the neshama level. Surround yourself with friends that you can connect to, that have your back. And remember, that's what it means to be a friend of Am Yisrael, is that we love one another to the point where we feel we're kindred spirits. Remember, we had Parsha Shkalim. We have the idea of a half a shekel with a half a shekel. Hashem can make everyone have exactly the same amount of money. Hashem can make everyone have exactly the same, that we're all self-sufficient. Why does he create imbalance? It makes no sense. It just causes strife. Because he doesn't want it to be strife. He wants that half a shekel will connect with another half a shekel. He wants that the rich man's going to help the poor man, and the poor man is going to in turn help the rich man. He makes everyone have a different tafkid, a different responsibility and role, for a good reason. Make sure that you work on the way that you can connect, that your neshama, that your nefesh is tied into the next person in Klal Yisrael. Another idea we know from Esther, who says that everything, how do you know that everything in Pasuk Dalid, in Parak Dalid, Pasuk Yudalid, and the idea is, how do you know that everything is just getting you to this particular day? And that quote and understanding is that, yes, every day you are given every single thing, and today is going to count if you make it count. If you don't give it the attention that it deserves, it passes by. But Hashem gives us everything we need to make the day count, so make it count. Just remember, you were created uniquely. Nobody else can do the same tafkid, the same responsibilities that you can. You are a special person. Make sure that you use that specialness to better yourself and to better whatever it is that you're supposed to do for everybody else. Olam chesed yibaneh. We are created so we can do chesed, because everything else, we don't take it with. Ki lo b'maso yikach hakol. Everything else will go away. But if you take on chesed and you do kindness for others, that stays forever. That is your legacy. That lives on. Make sure that you take it in. The next idea is B'kol Hashem yachalifu koach, that Hashem, he doesn't just give oomph and power to the people who believe in him. He is yachalifu koach. He will literally change what your capability is and give you what you need. And he will do it in a way that allows you to, there will be some times where you need more. Sometimes you're going to need to be lo yarutzu, lo ya'achu. Sometimes it's going to be you're going to need to be carried. Sometimes it's going to be that you're going to be able to walk by yourself, and sometimes you're going to be able to run. There are times in life where we all need a recharge. But just remember, Hashem gives us exactly the type of recharge that we need. And that recharge allows us to function. And it's just hope in Hashem, just believe in Hashem, just have emunah in Hashem, and everything else will fall into place, because that's what we believe. Yirtzeh Hashem, we will continue to study and to analyze and to try to take more and more nuggets from the beautiful Sifrei Nach. Remember, consistency, consistency, consistency. Just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us every day a new neshama experience where we come, Elokai neshama shenasata bi tohori, every day is a gift. Let's make use of every day together, and we will ultimately get to the final message, which is the last pasuk, the last word of Nach is Vaya'al, go up. Remember, Vaya'al, go up. It's important to recognize that really is what this is all about. At the end of the day, Hashem believes in all of us. He gave us that spark inside of us so that we can go up. And by going up, what we're able to accomplish is anything. The power is ours. And so let's make use. Let's go up. Let's not just have a chai, an 18, a regular life. Let's make life really count. Let's make it happen. Let's make it 19. Let's bring it. and let's bring it together, because that's what Hashem ultimately wants. Vaya'al, that we'll go up, but we'll take as many people as we can with ourselves.